Hi, and welcome to this overview of SAP Business One. This presentation is aimed at people who haven't seen SAP Business One before and want to get a brief overview of the look and feel of SAP Business One, some of the reporting functions and features, and the various elements of functionality available. SAP Business One is aimed at small to medium business and covers the full range of functionality: finance, distribution, logistics, purchasing, purchase planning, customer relationship management, manufacturing, and of course is available from a mobility point of view on mobility devices like Apple and Android, and fairly comprehensive reporting. So let's have a brief look at SAP Business One. What we see in front of us is the Hana interface. As I scroll down, I can see I've got various KPIs and dashboards, so my top 5 purchased items, my revenue versus gross profit, my top 5 best sellers, my receivables overdue. So these are widgets, KPIs, and dashboards available to me as part of the Hana interface. I can see as I scroll down, I have my workbenches. So for example, my purchasing process workbench, which says that I start with a purchase request, then a purchase order, and a goods receipt. Of course, now one of the beauties of this is I can drill directly down to the purchase order screen. I don't have to go through the menu structure. Click on purchase order, takes me directly to the screen. Want more information associated with purchase orders? Go directly to the information from that initial screen. From the front screen, I can do an enterprise search. So I'm looking for a quotation with the word office in it. I just do an enterprise search across the entire system, and the power of SAP Business One HANA returns to me a number of different documents, elements of master data that may be what I'm looking for. I'm looking for quotations. Click on quotation. I'm looking for quotations only for certain customers and only for a certain date range. So let's go in and put that date range in. I'm looking for something, a quotation which was created sometime this year up to, let's say, today's date. And SAP Business One narrows down my choices. So an enterprise search across the system to help me find, in that instance, the quotation that I'm looking for. The ability in SAP Business One to take a report and push it to Microsoft Excel, obviously the ability to email from directly within the application. So I have a purchase order, email it directly to the supplier. A diary system, so I can go in, part of CRM, I can create my phone calls, my meetings, my tasks, etc. This is a phone call about debtors which are overdue. Let's assign that to a customer, Earthshaker. The little arrows represent drill down, so at this point in time I want to drill down to more information associated with Bob at Earthshaker. Simply drill down, get additional detail at that point in time. Let's just put some in here, call debtors. I can put some content in here. Called, says we'll pay tomorrow. I can, of course, and we'll see this throughout SAP Business One, I can link documents. So in this instance, I may want to link the invoice in question, or I can put an attachment. So if I send Bob a letter about the debtors, the days outstanding, then of course I can put that attachment here in SAP Business One. Very useful, not just for activities, but for attaching AP invoices, for example. So a full diary system and of course integration with MS Outlook. Various reports available from the screen. I can do pervasive analytics, so I can go into SAP Business One and I can add additional KPIs. I can modify existing KPIs. So here I can see a number of standard KPIs available: total sales amount, inbound stock value, stock turnover, total purchases, sample sales, stock turnover again. Various KPIs reports available to me. Won't go into that into too much detail now. We'll touch on it towards the end of the presentation. Over on the left hand side, my menu structure. I've got the full menu structure here, but of course with an SAP Business One I can modify that menu structure. So if my job simply entails purchasing and no other functions within the SAP Business One framework, I can get rid of the other menu items and simply have purchasing on that menu. The system is of course a multi-company system, so I can have as many companies configured as I want. Foreign exchange rates, so of course I can have a reporting currency which might be Australian dollars, but I can purchase or sell in US dollars, euros, etc. And I can do a spot or period rate for those conversions. Obviously elements like full authorization procedures in SAP Business One, so Brett can go into the purchasing modules but can't raise a PO above a certain value. So on that subject, full approval procedures in SAP Business One, let's just go in and have a look at a typical approval template. POs above $1,000. So when Tom or Janet raise a purchase order, if it's above $1,000, it'll need an approval where the document total is greater than $1,000. So what would typically happen then is that when the manager logs into SAP Business One, what the manager will see is in their messages and alerts, they'll get, as I can see here, a request for document approval. As they drill down into that request for document approval, they'll see that there is a purchase order which either requires approval from the manager who can then approve that document. So workflow built into SAP Business One, much more than a pure accounting system. SAP Business One's taking care of our workflow, our purchase approvals, and another very nice feature, our alerts management. So let's drill down, have a quick look at that. Here's an alerts management for minimum stock deviation. So when the stock of this particular item gets below a certain level, I want you to please notify the purchasing manager. That alert is then triggered and the purchasing manager is notified that that particular condition has been met. The various aspects available, broadly speaking, in SAP Business One: financials, CRM and sales opportunities, quotations, sales orders, invoicing, purchasing and purchase planning, business partners, which is customers and supplier master data, banking, inventory control with full bin locations, multiple warehouses, production and resources, material requirements planning, which is production planning or purchase planning, a service module associated with servicing of items or goods, and reporting. So let's go in and have a brief look at those. In terms of the chart of accounts in SAP Business One, a fully flexible chart of accounts, segmented or non-segmented, and can be run by dimension. So in this instance, the dimensions that I've set up are project, division, region, department, branch, and product line. The beauty of this is now you can run a fairly small chart of accounts, which is easy to manage, but you can run the cost accounting effectively by project, division, region, or department. So now I can give a general manager in charge of a particular department a profit and loss just for their department or just for one product line. Again, the concept of drill down. So if I go into the turnover on the accounts, I go into a particular revenue account, I can drill down, I can see what makes up that value. I can double click sort and then drill down to an invoice that I want. So start at a high level of information, drill down to more detailed information. Journal entry, nice features like create an accrual on the last day of the month and a reversal automatically on the first day of the following month. Do template type journals, recurring postings, right click and duplicate a previous journal, put a note against this journal so that I can remember why I created this journal. Create the journal in MS Excel and cut and paste it into SAP Business One. Or take the journal in SAP Business One. Let's just show you an example of this very briefly. Right click, copy, and put it into Excel. So again, flexibility to move information, cut and paste to and from Excel. A full fixed assets module in SAP Business One. So let's just have a look at some asset master data quickly. Here's a Dell notebook and associated with it, straight line depreciation, 36 months. All of the typical information you would expect with this, including forecast depreciation, planned, unplanned, special, one-off depreciation, appreciation of assets if you own buildings, for example, the ability to do book and tax depreciation. So a full fixed assets module built into the financial elements. Budgets in SAP Business One, I can have as many financial budgets as I want. So in this instance, I've got 3 or 4 different budgets. When I run my P&L, for example, I can run the P&L if I wish, actuals year to date, and then a budget for the remainder of the year. The system will then ask me which budget do I want to run the P&L against. My pessimistic, my optimistic, budget 1, etc. Let's now go in and look at business partners in SAP, so customers and suppliers. Let's call up Earthshaker Corporation. I can modify the form at this point in time. I can move elements around on the form. I can have little reports like this hanging off the side of the form. So here's the gross sales by year, budget by item group for that customer, profit margin analysis for the customer. If I don't want it graphically, I can view it in grid format, back to graphical. Multiple contact persons, multiple bill to and ship to addresses. So I bill to a head office, but I ship to various locations. Drill down to get the account balance, for example, on the customer, and then to the invoice. If I want to look at their orders graphically, quick, easy drill down, get to the orders graphically that I'm looking for. And once again, if I want drill down to the source transaction, I can put notes against the customer, properties against the customer, and once again, the concept of attachments. So I may have a contract against this customer. I can attach this to their customer master data as an example. I can go into the customer, so let's just go in there again, and I can review all of the notes against the customer. So view related activities, there's all the notes against that particular customer. I can, as I said, modify that form as well. I can do campaigns against the customer so that I can do marketing campaigns to do email blasts with that customer. Let's talk a little bit now about sales opportunities. Sales opportunities in SAP Business One is the ability for us to say, I'm selling either to an existing customer or to a new prospect or customer. I think in the next 3 months, we'll sell $120,000 worth of goods. I think our gross profit will be 20%, and the level of interest is high. I can now put all sorts of other information against this opportunity. By the way, this could be a sales opportunity where I'm selling something to the customer, or part of my purchase opportunities where I'm looking to purchase from a supplier. In this instance, we'll stick to a sales opportunity. Let's put a note in here. This is a great opportunity to sell our new range. I can put, again, where did the lead come from? The lead came off the web. What industry are they in? They're in the shipping industry. What stage are we at? We're at quotation stage, and I think we have a 60% chance of winning the business. So as we build through the sales opportunity in SAP Business One, this means that salespeople no longer have to put their opportunities into a spreadsheet. They can actually put it directly into SAP Business One. And then a sales manager can come in and look at the opportunities report. So just go in, look at an opportunities report. And the sales manager can say, I just want to look at reports where we're at final negotiation stage. So I just want to see it where we're at contract negotiation stage. I just want to see it where the status is. It's open, so we haven't won or lost that opportunity. And the sales manager can get a report on that information. That's just one way to view your sales opportunities. You can view it in the traditional pipeline type method. So here's the sales pipeline, for example, and the sales manager can now again sort just by one sales employee. So I'm having some challenges with this particular sales employee. Let me look at their particular forecast or pipeline. Let me drill down to all of those opportunities that are at negotiation stage. So again, start at that high level of information, drill down to what you're looking for. In terms of sales in SAP Business One, I can have blanket agreements for a customer to call off sales. I can also do things like I can have a sales quotation, which becomes an order, a delivery, and an AR invoice. Alternatively, I can just go in and do an AR invoice. So I don't have to follow the various steps. Total flexibility in SAP Business One. On the purchasing side, much the same. I can have a purchase order. I can have that purchase order with or without approvals. I can have blanket agreements. I can do a goods receipt into the warehouse and match it to an AP invoice. Or I can simply go in and do a goods receipt or go in and do an AP invoice. I don't have to follow the various steps. So again, flexibility. If I want to force the various steps of purchase order approval, goods receipt, AP invoice, I can do so. But if I want to keep it simple and just do a goods receipt or an AP invoice, again, I can follow that process. Inventory in SAP Business One, multiple warehouse system with bin locations. Inside this system, let's just call up an item. We'll call up an item with the word office in it. We'll choose the office print 1420. Again, purchasing data, nice, quick, easy access to what I've purchased and when of the system. Multiple units of measure, so I buy in boxes of 12, but I sell in individuals. I buy in meters, but I sell in eaches. Sales data, drill down to what I've sold of this particular item. Again, quick, easy ability to drill down to the information that I want. Inventory, multiple warehouses. What stock have I got in stock, committed, ordered, and available in each warehouse? Do I have min and max stock levels in the warehouse? Planning data, so do I buy or make this item? If I, in fact, buy this item, then to help me with my purchase planning, what are my order intervals? So I order monthly. What are my order multiples? 12s. Minimum order quantity, 144, etc. Lead time, what's my typical lead time? This will then help me when it comes to purchase planning. Production data, if this is in fact an item that I produce, properties against the item, remarks against the item, and attachments against the item. So again, that's the item master. I can have bin locations within SAP Business One. I can have stock takes. I can have cycle counting stock takes, pick and pack management to recommend what gets picked and packed when. I can have serial numbers. I can have batches. So if I'm in the food industry, for example, or medical, I can track by batch. Or if I have manufacturing items or importing items, I can track by serial number as an example. Inside SAP Business One, production, so I can have a bill of materials. I can then raise a production order for an item, for example. I can also have resource planning, so I can also do things like what resources have I got available to produce this item, where are my resource constraints, for example. So let's just have a quick look at this. I've got, for example, in here, let's go into a printing press, for example, and here I can see that I've got some resource against this item. Now this becomes useful because I can start to check my bottlenecks as part of my manufacturing process. Material requirements planning in SAP Business One, so I can put a forecast into SAP Business One, and then against that forecast I can then go in and I can have a look at what the forecast is for that item based on historical forecasts, for example. I can then run my MRP wizard, and within that MRP wizard, I can then do some production planning or some purchase planning. So that'll be matching my supply and demand to tell me what I should order and when. The service module in SAP Business One, so the ability to have equipment cards, service calls. So let's just go in. If the item is serialized, I can simply put the serial number in. I can just go in here and put the serial number, and it'll populate the rest of the information for me. I say the issue is no power to the unit. Call origin. They emailed the call in. Problem type no power. I'm going to assign the problem. What are my remarks against this? No power to the unit, etc. So I can go in and keep full service management against this item. What was the solution to fix the item? Full control of the servicing of this item. I can have contracts against the item that I'm servicing as well. So what we've seen there is a very brief overview, because that's what we're looking to do in this presentation, so 25 minutes, but complete financial management, CRM and sales opportunities, sales quotations, sales orders, sales invoicing, purchase planning through MRP, banking. We didn't really touch on banking, but needless to say, bank reconciliations, bank statement imports, etc. Full inventory control, multi-warehouse, multi-bin location, serial number tracking, batch tracking, service module, MRP, production, kitting. So let's now touch on some of the reporting aspects. When we first started the presentation, we noticed that we had these KPIs and dashboards as part of our Hana interface. A couple of other options for reporting. Interactive analysis. So let's go in here. I want to run a report. System says, what do you want to report on? Purchase planning, budget analysis, profitability. Let's just go into sales revenue analysis. So we click on sales revenue analysis. The system will now open up for us Microsoft Excel. And what will happen now, let's open that up, and the system says, what do you want to report on? I'd like to report on revenue. I'd like to report on items. I'd like to report by date. Actually, let's filter by date, so we'll drag that up into the filter column. And I'd like to report on, let's report on sales employee, and let's filter by sales employee. There you go, report's built quickly, just by dragging the fields across that I want. And I've created the pivot table, but it's already available for me in SAP Business One. Quick, easy reporting. I've built a sales report here in about a minute by due date by sales employee. So that's just another example of some quick, easy reporting. We also saw in SAP Business One that when I go in, I can also have reports each step of the way. For example, on the side of the business partner, you'll remember that I had the ability to have, let's just go into Earthshaker again. I had these drill downs which could get me to more information. I have the graphical information here by just clicking on the button and getting to that. I can go into analytics and I can see the reports here that I'm looking for on the side of the business partner form. Let's get another way to get to that information. Let's go back into the business partner. And now let's go and use what's called drag and relate. So I'm looking for some sales information, drag the customer code or customer name over what I'm looking for. I'm looking for their sales orders, and the system automatically creates the report for me. Let's see that again. Drag their name over their quotations. That's what I'm looking for. The system does the report for me. Nice and simple. Okay. Another way to do reporting in SAP Business One, I want to write a quick, easy report. So let's just go in and let's go into the query generator. There are different ways to get to this report, but I want to write a report by customer name, customer code, phone number. Simply double click on what I want to see. I want to see customer code, I want to see customer name, I want to see the address, the phone number, the fax, the contact person, the notes and the account balance, and there's the report written for me. Quick, easy access to writing my own queries inside SAP Business One. Of course, there are a number of standard reports inside SAP Business One. So if, for example, I go into a financial report, and let's just go back into modules, and if I go into a financial report, and I go into a, let's talk about, for example, a profit and loss. When I go in, it says, what date range do you want to run? Do you want local currency, foreign currency? By the way, do you want to run it by a particular branch, division, region, or product line? So I open up one report. It gives me multiple reporting options. Let's see that again in a standard sales report. So I go into the sales report, and let's just call up quick, easy information. I want an open items list. So here's my open goods receipts. Here's my open sales orders. Here's my open AR invoices. You see how I'm quickly just moving to the information that I want inside the system. Let's run a sales analysis. Do you want to run it by customer or by item and by customer? Do you want to run it just for a certain group of customers, just my distributors, for example? I can also embed into the system, if I wish, additional reports. So here, for example, I can have a customer dashboard. This could be crystal based. So let's just say 2012 demo data. I know I've got some in there. Okay, go in, and the system brings up then a nice graphical report sitting in crystal. Here it is. Okay, page 1, page 2, more detail, back to page 1, nice and graphical. Just another example of embedding reports into SAP, in that instance using SAP Crystal. I can also use tools like SAP Lumira. I'm not going to go into that into detail now. There are separate blogs and YouTube videos on the Leverage Tech website about SAP Lumeira. But on the subject of reporting, we could probably spend an hour on that alone. We've got pivot tables that we can embed into SAP Business One. We've got these nice graphical KPIs and dashboards. And by the way, if we want to create our own KPIs and dashboards, pervasive analytics. So I go into pervasive analytics. I say I want to do a new KPI. What do you want that KPI to be on? I want it on sales revenue. I want to look at sales revenue, and I want to look at it by date. Little KPI. Actually, I don't want a KPI, I want a dashboard. So let's go back in and have a look at a dashboard. Let's create a new dashboard. What do you want the dashboard to be on? What sort of measures and things like that? I want it to be on sales and revenue analysis. Okay, what do we want? We want revenue. We want it by customer group. Actually, we don't want it like that. We want it in a pie chart. Oh, clicked the wrong one. Sorry, I was looking for a pie chart. There we go. We want it on a pie chart, for example. Now let's filter that report just for certain customer groups, etc. Very quick, simple, easy. So a number of different reporting options, and we haven't even begun to explore elements like SAP Lumeira. So a quick overview of SAP Business One and the reporting. In summary, a full end-to-end business management solution. Finance, CRM, opportunity management, sales, purchasing, banking, inventory control, production kitting, resource planning, material requirements planning for production and for purchase planning, the service module, and multiple reporting options, and these fantastic KPIs dashboards. One other thing I'll show you as we close off, just another example of the great reporting. Let's go into a dynamic cash flow analysis. I can configure the cash flow as I so wish, so let's just change a few of the configurations here. Let's just change purchase orders as a level of certainty and sales orders. Let's save that information. Let's look at our cash flow across all elements. Now let's change the date line that we're looking at for that cash flow. I see the report changing dynamically in front of me. Let's get rid of the opening balances because I just want to see the net movements, and there they are. Actually, I want to look at a broader timeline. Let's stretch that out a bit. Now I can see a broader timeline. Very, very powerful reporting standard in SAP Business One for Hana. So thanks for watching. That was a quick overview just to give you a taste of some of the great functions and features and the wonderful look and feel of SAP Business One on Hana. Thank you for watching the presentation. Please don't forget that there's lots of additional information available on the Leverage website at leveragetech.com.au. Thank you.